So many of us believe that we would be happy in the having of a thing. If I had a better mate, my life would be better. If I had a wife, my life would be better. If I had a husband, and if I were married, things would be better. If I had more money in the bank, I'd be happier. If I had a better car, whatever it is. And maybe if you had those things, things would be happier. Or maybe you can decide to be happy right now. Right now, you can decide to be happy right now. And family, I think that we believe as humans that we would be happy in the having of a thing. Like it would take something on the external to make us happy on the inside. And sometimes, family, that could be true. But the reality is that you can find happiness right where you are. And I learned, family, that sometimes when you take some time to yourself, when you take some time in isolation by yourself just to think, some time in isolation by yourself just to find yourself, you find that life can be a lot better for you. So many of us don't even give ourselves the time to think, to hear from God, Allah, the universe, whatever you believe in, time to hear. We don't give ourselves time to hear, time to listen to ourselves, time to hear back from our Creator. We're so busy with the distractions of the world. We're so busy listening to everyone and everything outside of ourselves. We spend so much time scrolling and scrolling and scrolling and scrolling on social media that when you look up, a whole 30 minutes to an hour or more went by. We spend so much time on the phone, watching TV, listening to TikToks and Instagram posts and all the things. And most of what we're listening to are not bettering us. Most of the things that we're putting in our minds are not even helping to make us a better person. But family, you got to take that time for yourself, because that's truly the only opportunity that you're going to get to ensure that you're moving forward and that you're being healthy. You have to take that time in isolation for yourself. And I know it's hard because for a lot of us, we don't want to be alone. We don't like to be alone. We don't even like to be by ourselves. We don't like to be home by ourselves. We don't want to travel by ourselves, right? We don't like to talk to ourselves because it's uncomfortable. And I understand it, family. But there are so many benefits to isolation that you will find that if you gave yourself a little bit of time, if you pulled yourself back from the world, you give yourself an opportunity to pull some of that energy back and to heal. One of the reasons why isolation is so good, family, is because it gives you a chance to get to know yourself. It does. So many of us have been in long-term relationships, and we do the things that she does or that he does because that's the person that we were with. But family, do you really like those things? Like, I'm going to pause right there. The things that you did in your relationship or in your current relationship or in your past relationships, are those the things that you would do? And I'm not saying that, you can't do things that the other people want to do. Of course, you meet a person at their need. You're a great team member. You're a great person in a relationship. We get all that. I'm just saying, are there some things in your life that you like to do, but you just didn't do it? Are there things in your life that you've not focused on, that you just want some time to focus on? And family, whether you're in a relationship or not in a relationship, it is so good just to take some time to yourself. Like, when was the last time you heard yourself think? When was the last time you listened to yourself? How many of us are just meditating, closing our eyes, listening to our breathing, going within? How many of us are letting go of outcomes and just living and being? And many of us are not, family, because at the end of the day, we think that we're following our own program, but the reality is we might not be. We might be following the world program, doing what the world tells us to do, following patterns, unhealthy habits that we didn't even know that we subconsciously created for ourselves, waking up. And the first thing that we do when we wake up is reach for that phone. Now we're looking at emails, looking at text messages. Now we're drawn in. Or we wake up and we went through something very difficult the day before, and all of the things that we thought yesterday and that happened to us are downloading in our mind. And our day today becomes just like our day yesterday because we didn't even give ourselves a chance to think. So family, being in isolation sometimes, most times, a lot of the times, if not all of the times, gives you an opportunity just to hear from God, hear from yourself, to listen, to find the answers that you're looking for, to take away the busy, to take away the distractions, and to just be with yourself. And it can be a simple practice. I do it every day. Take some time away from your husband, your wife, your kids, and I go and I sit and I quiet the noise. I sit and I quiet the noise and I find a way to hear from me. And I think it's something that you should consider doing as well. Another reason that you want isolation, family, is that sometimes people can hurt you so deeply. And I mean, I'm talking about a person can hurt you so deeply that it rocks your whole world, that you don't even know who you are anymore, that the person that you used to be is not the person that you are today, that the things that you used to do are not the things that you're doing today, and they hurt you so deeply, family, because you opened that space for them to come in. And that's not to blame you. It's not to put the blame on anyone and anything. It just is what it is. And sometimes having some time of isolation can help you find you. I know it's so easy for us to look at a person's life and it appears that they have it all going on, that their highlight reels are so great, that their Instagrams and their social medias are so phenomenal, that their homes are beautiful and their relationships are great, and all the things that you want they have, and it looks fantastic. But family, you have no idea what a person goes through behind the scenes. You have no idea. We all have to put on a face. We all got to put it together when we go to work. We all got, thank you for coming to Chick-fil-A. How can I help you? Thank you for calling Comcast. We all got to do the thing. You know what I mean? But that doesn't mean that we're not hurting. So it doesn't matter the front or the face that anyone is putting on. They still could be going through what they're going through behind the scenes, and you can't see it. Sometimes you can't see pain. Pain is not always physical. You can't see it. So when you give yourself time to be in isolation, you are loving yourself. You are being good to yourself. You are honoring yourself. You are valuing yourself because you are saying, self, we need some self-care. Self, we are not okay. Self, we need some help. And family, I'm telling you this because I lived it, because I know it. You know, we all have good seasons in our lives. We all have good times in our lives. But then there are those times that in our lives that were not so great, that made the good times great. Times in our lives that we had to sit with ourselves, by ourselves, to do the things alone with ourselves. And it's not easy. And it's not comfortable. And it's hard. It's shadow work. It's doing the hard work behind the scenes that nobody sees, but no one's forcing you to do. It's doing the hard work and taking the time out of your day to focus on you. And sometimes we don't even have the time in the day to focus on us. It's doing the hard work. And I've been there. I remember, family, I wasn't always in such a good season. I wasn't always in such a Nicole Inspired, happy, married. No, I wasn't always in that season. And I've been divorced before in my past. And I remember going through that season. I was like, how did I get here? I did all the things that I thought God said I should do. I did all the things that I thought my family said I should do. I know I'm not perfect. I know I made mistakes. But why did that have to happen to me? And it was a season where I really questioned God, like, if you loved me, why did you let that happen to me? If you love me, why am I hurting, right? Like, if you love me, why am I going through this? And I remember being so stressed that I literally cried and balled myself up in a ball and cried and cried and cried until I couldn't cry anymore. That I went to work and I wiped my tears behind the scenes. That I did and ran my business and I wiped my tears behind the scenes. That I took care of my family and I wiped my tears behind the scenes. And nobody knew. Outside of my close people, nobody knew what was going on in my life. And I'm saying this to tell you, family, it wasn't until I took that time to make a decision to say, Nicole, you are not okay. I know that this hurts, but you are not okay, and you're going to get through it. And no matter what a person is telling you to make you feel good, you got to feel good all on your own. That you have to come out of this on your own, and that you got to pick up the pieces where the pieces are and rebuild yourself. And in order for you to become Nicole 2.0, you got to overcome and overcome and overcome until you become someone new, no matter how hard it is. You got to do it with no money. You got to do it with no mate. You got to do it afraid. You have to do it in lack. You got to do it right where you are. And family, I say this to you because all of us, every last one of us, have seasons in our lives where we need to go within. Seasons in our lives, even when we're in a good place, we got to go within. Seasons in our lives where we have to love ourselves, and it makes me want to cry just telling the story because I remember the hurt and I remember the pain. But to heal from it and to become this person that I am today took a lot of sacrifice. Took a lot of sacrifice, a lot of denial, right? A lot of denial to myself, a lot of moving forward to a future that I couldn't even see, a lot of taking a chance on myself when everyone told me one thing, me going against the grain, me healing, me coming better, and me not going back to that. I had to get strong enough to where I got to the place I needed to get to, I could stay there. I had to be strong enough in my period of being by myself that when I got where I needed to go, that I wouldn't fall back into what I was in. And I did the research and I read and I studied and I prayed and I learned. And family, you got to do the things for you. Whatever it is for you that's going to help you to get out of that place, you got to do it for you. And you can't do it with distractions. I tried. You can't do it with somebody new and you're not even in the season to have somebody new. You can't get over someone getting under someone else, and maybe you can. Maybe I'm a hater. Maybe you can. But you can't do that. Because even when you do that, you still have to find the time to heal. You still come back to you, because I learned wherever you go, there you are. You can go to the other side of the world. You're there. You can be in a new relationship. You're there. That'll be a new person, same concept, just a different face. You're there. Same energy, same issues there. But when you take that time out to isolate, to work on yourself, to heal and better yourself every day, little by little, little becomes a lot, and you actually overcome, and you actually get better, and you actually heal, family. We've all been through it. And I remember as I was healing, I prayed all the time. Obviously, I did the things that I needed to do. I continued to build my business. And little by little, every single day got just a little bit better. Just a little bit better. Every single day got a little bit better. And I remember waking up one day and I didn't cry. Y'all, I swear I cried so many times. And I remember watching my ex-husband move about so freely, do the things he wanted to do, take this new bae, right? Take new bae to all the places we've been. And here I am raising a family, you know what I mean? I've been there. And it wasn't until I got to a happy place that I was proud to say that I'm worthy of something new. And it wasn't until I made myself the main character of my own story that good things started happening for me. And it wasn't until I healed and learned that I was so broken that good didn't feel good. Good felt familiar. And family, you got to learn what truly is good for you, not just what feels good. And it takes times of isolation, being by yourself with your creator so that you can co-create your life. And yes, we have support, people who love us, people who are there for us, but it takes you being there for you, moving forward with you. And when I got to that better place, right, and I started feeling good, looking good, right, getting myself together, being, the happy, optimistic person I typically am, and just having a new sense of grace, a new sense of love, a new sense of happiness. And grace, by its biblical definition, means unmerited favor given to humans for their regeneration and their sanctification. I had grace. And I was moving about happy, and I was doing all the things. And family, I promise, when I got the squares up out my circle, when I got the people out my life that didn't need to be there, when I removed myself from unhealthy and unhappy environments, things shot up for me. My life got so much better. I'll wait. Have y'all ever been in that season where you got rid of someone or something, or that someone or something left you, and you started to see that things started getting better for you? And family, when you do that, plus isolate and take some time for yourself, by yourself, with yourself, alone in yourself, the sky is the limit. And as I overcame and overcame and overcame, I became someone new. And every single thing, this is the funny part. Every single thing that I thought I lost came back to me. A new, healthy, happy relationship, a new, healthy, happy sense of self, a new, healthy, happy place within me as a woman. I was free. I was free, right? I was a free person. And I no longer had to go back to that. And when I became free, then all those people that left me, and y'all have experienced this, old girl who left you, right? Who she thought she was it. Oh boy who left you, he thought he was it, right? You took her to eat a 5-course meal and she thought she can get that anywhere because she thought you were easily replaced, and then she learned real quick, right? Them type of people, they all come back. Where are they gonna go? Because where are they going to go? Who doesn't want to be close to the sun? I'll wait. Who doesn't want to be close to the sun? And you are the sun. And when you start finding yourself to be worthy of a new thing, when you start finding yourself to be worthy of a good thing, I feel like I want to cry, because I mean this when I say this. When you find yourself being so worthy of a new and good thing, you become a new and good thing. And every single thing, family, that you think you lost, it comes back. But it goes through fire, because you become refined and become a new and different and better person every single time. And I know it's hard being in those seasons where you're by yourself, being in those seasons of isolations. But when I look back, family, it was the best things I've ever done for myself. Loving myself, listening to myself, hearing myself, being with myself, spending time with myself and myself by myself, and just taking some time throughout the day to be by myself. Family, you can never lose. You can never lose. It doesn't matter what they say about you. It doesn't matter what they post on their social media. It doesn't matter what they look like they're doing, what it appears that their life is like. It doesn't even matter. When you look at your own life and you see the external circumstances, that doesn't dictate who you are. When you see external circumstances, doesn't mean that your life is going to be that way all the time. When you see your external circumstances, doesn't mean that things won't change for you. Now, I'm a living testament that anything can change at any given moment. And I remember hearing a sermon about a pastor, from a pastor who preached, and he called it "And Suddenly." Because and suddenly, at any given moment, your life can change for the better. And suddenly, at any given moment, you can lose that weight you want to lose. You can become the person you want to become. You can have the money that you want to have, the business, the life, the woman, the husband, every single thing that you want will come to you. But you have to be good to you first. And still, in my happy season, I still take the time to honor myself, to be good to myself. And when I have challenging times in my relationship, challenging times as a parent, challenging time in business, and in all the areas, I take that time and I remember the things that I've been through and the things that I came through and what I overcame. And it gives me the energy to know that this too shall pass. That no matter what is happening in my life, it's going to pass. Bro, right? Like the young kids say, bro, like you're going to get through it. And it's only a season, but you will get through it in a more healthy manner and in a more healed manner and in a better manner when you give yourself time to isolate. Isolate from those environments that no longer serve you. Isolate from the people that no longer serve you. I'm going to say it again. Isolate from the people that no longer serve you. And I do understand that we all just can't get up and leave our relationships. I get that. I do understand that there are different dynamics, financial dynamics, children, situations, court situation, jail situation, whatever our situation is, we all got a situation. I get that. But I want you to know that you always have you. And people always leave when times get tough. If you fall, if you cheat, if you fail, people leave. But God, your co-creator, won't leave you. You won't leave you. You're still here. You're still here. And one thing that you're not going to do is break promises that you're making to yourself. You're still here. And since you're still here, you have an opportunity to do things new and different in this season. While you're still here, you have your mind. And some of us have to lose our minds to gain a new one. So hopefully you lost your mind and gained a new one. You've been through so much things in your life where a person took you down through there. A person did you dirty, disrespected you, called you all kinds of names, took money from you, hurt you, all the things. But at the end of the day, you still have you. And you're still here. So now what are you going to do? You have to make a choice. Do you want to take some time to truly heal in the best way? Do you want to continue as a maintenance method to isolate yourself just for a little bit, for prayer, for meditation, for time away, to listen and hear from God, from self, to come up with new and different ideas, new creative ways to do things, to not react, but to respond effectively, to do the things that you need to do in a manner that's healthy for you and all those that you have fiduciary responsibility over? What are you going to do? And I always say this, we only get one life. And in this season of your life, you're going to do things new and different. In this season of your life, you're going to do things better. And isolation is so good. And so many times, family, when I do these videos, I try to, do research and write things down and really just come with some good content. But every once in a while, I got to share the things that I've been through. Every once in a while, I got to share my story in hopes that it will help you in your story. And know that you can change your story at any given moment. That you can create the narrative that you want for your life. And no, we cannot change the past. And yes, we've all been hurt. But we do not have to sit and watch everybody else win. We do not got to sit and watch everybody else win and kick their field goal and get their score in their own life. No, we can win too. That we don't got to sit and watch everybody have the thing that we want. If you want a healthy, happy relationship, become a healthy and happy person, and I guarantee you it'll come to you. And like I said earlier, you can't get there from here. You have to fix here, and there comes here. And I'm not telling you anything, family, that doesn't work. I'm telling you what works because it's tried and true. Because I'm not new to the game. I'm true to it. I've been there. And I've done it afraid. And whether or not I'm married or in a relationship, I've done it divorced. I've done it alone. I've done it broke. I've done it with nothing. Because at the end of the day, there was nobody else that was going to take a chance on me like I was. There was nobody else that was going to take a chance on me like I was, and I had to isolate. And I read stories on people who did this successfully. And I read about the eagle who, when he's at his height, he starts to lose his vision and lose his accuracy. And he can't fly as good as he did. And his feathers start to get heavy. And so he takes some time. And he takes a couple months out the year. And he goes to the highest mountain. And he beats his beak against the rock to break it. And he pulls out his talons. And his feathers shed. And he is in a very vulnerable state. He's in a very vulnerable state that he has to be alone by himself to get to a situation and a position that's better. And it is said that after a while, his beak grows back and his talons grow back. And they say he then mounts with wings. He mounts up with a new strength and he is able to fly better, faster and higher and can lock in on prey 3 miles away. I wanted that for my life. I wanted a change where when I came out of my isolation, that I was better. I wanted a change, and when I came out of my period of growth, I was stronger. That I was battle tested, and when I got to where I need to be, I was certified to take my seat on the throne. That when I got to where I need to be, nobody can tell me that I didn't deserve to be there because I earned my stripes. And you know that soldiers in the war, earn stripes from battles they fight. And how many stripes have you earned? Nobody can take that away from you. But you have to continue to isolate yourself and heal yourself so that when you get to where you need to get, you can stay there. And that you're battle tested. And that you got there on hard work, merit, favor, grace, prayer, and strength. And you isolating yourself and taking the time that you need to go to the next level because you're going to need it. Because I realized that I couldn't get to this level that I'm at now being that old version of Nicole. I couldn't get here being that person. I couldn't get here in that mindset. But it was because I was there that I got here from a standpoint of I healed. I grew and I changed. And even the areas in my life that still need massaging, right? Even those areas that I want to go back to and the person that I used to be that I want to go back to, I work on that and I'm intentional and I have self-awareness because I promised myself that I would never go back there and I never did. And family, I want you to feel the same way about yourself. Take that time to isolate. I know it's uncomfortable. God knows it does not feel good when you're watching everybody else go out and have fun and be in relationships and have the things that you have and get the money you want and all the things that you know that you are deserving of, and you're having to watch them win and be happy for them. No, in those seasons, you just want to be a hater, real talk, because you're like, yo, things are not working out for me, but I got to find the strength and the courage to be happy for them. Family, yes, you do. Because you know your blessing is coming. You got to know that. And if there's nothing that you can hang on, one thing I know is that God has a clock and his watch ain't go out. That the time is still going and he's watching you. And every single thing that you've been through and that you've done and that you will do, your creator already sees it. And he knows. And there's nothing that you can go through, even though it feels like it. There's nothing that you can go through that you can't come out of. And when you take the time to isolate and strengthen yourself and do the walk, and do the things that you need to do to get to where you need to be, you will never, ever, ever, ever lose. And when you take the time to honor yourself, to believe in yourself, to love yourself, to feel worthy of a new thing, to feel worthy of a good thing, you become a new and good thing. And in this season that you're in, when you wake up and those negative thoughts start to download in your head, you gently think good and new and positive thoughts to get you to a good and new season. When you isolate and you take that time to better you, you come out of that isolation better, faster, and stronger every single time. Just something for you to think about. Stay inspired.